Mold making plays a large role in our everyday lives. From the milk bottle and glassware you used for breakfast, to every piece of plastic you touch, somewhere along the line a mold was involved. Molding and casting can take many forms. For instance, these foundry men are casting superheated metal into a ceramic mold. Every piece of plastic armor you wear for Halloween was molded. This nicely matched ensemble was vacuum formed. Sorry if this is too old school. Is this better? But what exactly is vacuum forming? Let's watch a brief video describing how vacuum forming works. This design is by Vincent Gingery, which is based on a vacuum cleaner leading into some sort of box to hold the vacuum and the mold with a heating element above it to warm up the plastic. The plastic sheet is held in any sort of framework. Here I'm trying to reuse a piece of plastic, that's why it's all wrinkly at this point. When the plastic starts to sag, it's warm enough to then just plop down on your mold while the vacuum's running. I'm going to add a little extra heat with my heat gun so I can get better detailing in the plastic. And here's our almost finished product. It didn't turn out too bad. Flip it over and pull out the mold. Ouch, 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 ouch. That's hot. Now watch this webbing disappear in these areas. See it going? And here's our finished part. It didn't turn out too bad either. There is some webbing, but it's outside the part itself. It's out in the plastic. This was an experimental piece we did, molding a variety of objects, and also we were testing some spray paint color schemes here. This is particularly popular with the remote control modeling, the car modelers. They paint the inside of the plastic so they get a very tough paint job on their cars. That is actually very difficult to remove because there is no draft. Here's some of that stormtrooper armor all formed up. To get it loose, you'll need a good set of plastics scissors. Here's some techniques to help control webbing, or at least to get it to occur in a place that doesn't affect your part. You can place wood blocks around the part to guide the webbing, or you can place the mold on top of a wood block. And in this particular case, we wanted the plastic to wrap around the mold. Normally, undercuts like this are a very bad thing, but on this part, we needed to do it, and so we'll have to use those fancy scissors to cut the mold out. There are several hundred videos on the internet demonstrating vacuum forming. However, I would avoid any that show people using their kitchen oven to soften the plastic. The plastic droops as it softens, and if it contacts the oven racks, you have a sticky, smelly mess to contend with. Here's a video of stormtrooper armor being made. A good forum site with lots of information and links, and a well-done video of an injection mold being machined. In this series of lessons, we will look at how to make simple molds using SOLIDWORKS, and how to modify them to improve their performance. We'll start with a simple vacuum mold, and then design a mold suitable to cast chocolates in. The design of a mold is largely based on its intended function. It's the idea from biology class that form follows function. For our first mold, we will make a mold that is a positive of the object we want to form. For the chocolate mold, we will build a negative of the desired object. More on that later. To begin with, we will need an inspiration for our mold. We need some sort of idea for what we're going to mold. Oftentimes, this comes from the age-old adage, necessity is the mother of invention. For our first mold, I'll demonstrate building a model of the Girl Scout emblem. The inspiration for this came from our college hosting a Girl Scout function where several hundred young ladies toured our technical programs at LCSC. I did a quick web search for images of the Girl Scout emblem. There are lots of pictures of this very classy modern logo, but I wanted something a bit more retro. My mother was a Girl Scout troop leader in the 1970s, and I remember the logo being a little different. This is a very old emblem taken from the Girl Scout handbook that came out around the early 1900s. It's more what I was looking for, but a bit too fuzzy. I did find a better image of it here, but I think that the eagle will make it too difficult for my first attempt. I found this drinking cup on eBay. I used to have one of these. That's the emblem I want. The only problem with this one is that the picture is taken at a bit of an angle. This is another very cool emblem, and I'll probably come back to it at some time. I especially like the starburst effect around the outside. This badge was about right, but still a bit fuzzy. Finally, success! A nice big clear outline that I could trace for my mold. Let's transform this photo into a vacuum mold using SOLIDWORKS.